Hello and welcome to Geek Weekly. My name is Chad Morris and this is Jeremy Mullet.
Hi,
welcome to Geek Weekly. All right, so here we are again. We're going to be talking about what?
Now, a while back we put up a trailer review of this.
Yes, actually we did, and we were super excited. This
is
this was like the most anticipated movie for me.
This is a great new franchise
in the summer.
Really come out. New rehash of a franchise kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so obviously we're doing the new Planet of the Apes film, which
is
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, right?
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, which I think is just, the older franchise, I think, just sucks like a cheap whore on a Friday night. I do.
It can depend. I mean, it's outdated is the biggest issue with it nowadays. It doesn't hold up in terms of graphics and whatnot. If you watched it when you were a kid, though, because you don't really understand all the graphics, it's not bad.
Now, did you watch the one with Mark Wahlberg, and did you enjoy it at all?
This was the one that came out in the early 2000s.
Yeah,
I did see it. I saw it a couple of times. I was not my favorite film.
Okay.
But it was entertaining.
Yeah.
It wasn't as good as it probably should have been, though. That was kind of my opinion on it.
Yeah. No, and I see what I've only seen it once. I want to watch it again.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it years ago, so I can't even remember what happens in it.
My biggest thing with this is, if you don't mind, just real quick, here's an argument that I've had several times with multiple people, is people keep thinking that these primates that you're seeing in these films are part of that world, and that's true, but this is like hundreds of years before Mark Wahlberg comes back down to Earth.
Yeah.
So none of these animals are going to be alive when Mark Wahlberg gets back.
Yeah.
There is talk of Caesar, I believe, in that Mark Wahlberg film.
Yeah.
Very light talk of him being the first amongst them to rebel, but they're not alive. They will not be alive, and they have to evolve into human-like species.
Yeah.
Which they've not done yet. We're still in this very early age.
Yeah.
So I just want to make that clear. This is a prequel series to the Mark Wahlberg movie, but it's going to be a trilogy, and then we don't know where they're going to go from there.
Yeah.
But
I hope they don't go any further.
Yeah.
Truthfully, I like the ride that we're on, but I'm hoping that it
ends appropriately.
Yeah, I really do. I don't want it to be like another Fast and Furious or Resident Evil 19.
Resident Evil. They're done this year,
I know.
Unrelated, but yeah, definitely.
This is their last one, which thank God. I mean,
yeah,
I've seen every single
years.
one. I've seen them all.
I have too. I love Mila Jovovich, so
yeah.
Yeah, it's been 10 years, so it's time,
Yeah, I think the first few were actually very good, and I know that they're off from the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think as standalone movies, I think they're very good. Until like the last few, I was like, "Where are you going with this?" Like they're just not
off topic, so to speak.
Yeah, and it's really been really pointless. Really pointless movies.
Right. What they keep trying to do is they keep trying to incorporate the new games into it, and it's just, but they don't really know how to. And then the games and the movies are clearly not working with each other. So it's not like somebody comes from the games and they're like, "Look, I'm going to add this character, that's how I'm going to do it." It's more like I feel like the director gets news that there's some new character. He doesn't even research what this character is going to be like, and he's just like, "Okay, well his name's Leon Kennedy. We'll just throw him in there. Fuck it." You know what I mean? In terms of the movies go, but. Anyways, back to the Planet of the Apes.
Back to Planet of the Apes. We haven't even actually started talking about Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, which is what we're here for.
This film I thought was really good. It actually feels, like Empire did for Star Wars.
Okay.
To me, because Star Wars was like an introduction to the world, right?
Yeah.
And it was a little bit more upbeat, a little bit more fun, and the same thing happened in Rise of the Planet of the Apes. It gets dark towards like the last 45-50 minutes of this film. In Rise, but it's not. In the beginning of it, it's like him with James Franco, and they're playing, and it's fun, and you're learning all this new stuff, and so there's no darkness to it. Whereas this film is very dark through the entire film. It's very the overtones are very serious. You're really starting to see hints of what's going to happen. I mean, there are scenes where humans are kept in cages like animals. There are the overtones of maybe the apes can also make mistakes in the same way that humans can. There's a lot of that kind of
I think
pacing.
Whoever wrote this movie was, whatever team of writers wrote this, I think was just fantastic. It really was a realistic, as realistic as you can get with apes taking over the world. Realistic story.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a little slow moving.
It was.
It was a slow moving movie, but you know what?
Heavy on development and story and characters.
Heavy, yeah, and I think that's all, and that's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
The movie right before the last movie
mm-hmm.
is usually the one that has the most story.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the first one, that's like the introduction. You're really enjoying the story,
right? Sort of the intro to the world more than anything. Usually,
yeah. And then you're still enjoying the action. And for some reason, that second to last movie in any movie franchise is always just like, yeah, well, we already know all this stuff, and it's just like, just get to the end. We want to see the ending. We're excited to see it, and then obviously the last movie is just like,
it's usually just an action fest.
yeah. Oh man, it's just boom, 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 boom. Your mouth is open. You're just like,
right.
I
mean, generally speaking, though, when you talk trilogies, the sequels tends to be, and there are rare cases, like Empire, obviously, where the sequel tends to be the bad one. It's, like, really not that good. Yeah. The Hangover, for example, the second Hangover movie is literally, it's the exact same script again, except they're in Thailand. Whereas 3 is where they kind of go out, and I don't even think they have a hangover in that movie.
They don't have a hangover.
Yeah, but, like, and so a lot of films, when you get the second one, it's a
movie.
rehash of the script. Yeah. Whereas that's what's great about this one, the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, is this is not a rehash at all. This entire story is brand new from beginning to end.
I think what I loved the most about it was that characters that were in the first movie for like even 5 seconds become like these main characters, like Koba.
Mm-hmm.
Is that his name?
Oh, Koba, yeah.
I love that he's in the first movie, and I'm like, okay, that's actually kind of a cool ape. I like that he's the guy that killed the guy, the black guy at the very end, and stuff like that, And it all ties together in this second movie. Because you're like, he is the guy that literally Caesar was like, go kill this guy.
Mm-hmm.
So all of a sudden, for Koba, he saw Caesar as like this powerful leader. So he was like, I'm going to follow this guy. He was like, go and kill him? Fuck yeah,
Please,
I will.
Thank you, yeah.
Yeah. And so he goes and does it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not until the next movie that you realize that that's how Koba saw him at first. That's why he started to follow him. Because Koba, as an ape, is very independent, but and has his own views, and like they're very strong. And that's one of that's the big. I mean, Koba is
that's
like
the conflict in this film.
That's the really big conflict in the whole thing.
Yeah.
And so
because he just comes from a different world, and you can see it from Koba's perspective. I mean, with Koba, when you think about how he grew up and whatnot, he was tortured by humans for his entire life. Whereas Caesar saw the torture, but he actually grew up with Franco, who was kind and caring.
And that's the one thing I like about Caesar, is that they didn't change him so much that he didn't have some sort of sympathy for humans.
Right.
And at the end, my favorite thing was that we're not any better than the humans. And that just was like, thank you.
That's a major overarching story. Yeah,
that was like,
Caesar's, that was his flaw,
Yeah. And I think that's the best line in the whole movie for me, is that we're not as good as humans, we are the same.
They really should have just named Coda Brutus. You know what I mean? How awesome would it have been if when he gets shot you just see "Et tu, Brutus" and falls. Like, wow! But it's got that whole thing.
Now, see, I went to go see it with Brendan,
who
is not here today.
That's fine.
He's not here, but that's fine.
They never see him anyways. So.
Yeah, you don't see him, but you can feel his presence, can't you? You can feel his presence? No?
He's such a commanding presence. He's so loud and rambunctious.
Yeah, I know. He really, we always like, shut the fuck up, Brendan. Because he's always just talking.
So anyways, you start with him.
Okay, so anyways, because he hasn't seen the first one. So when it came out, I saw it last Sunday, so a week ago.
Yep.
From now. Because it's Sunday afternoon right now. This is when we're recording. If you really cared.
If you're curious.
If you cared at all, in any way, shape, or form. So he came over at around 12 last Sunday. Around noon. And we watched the first one.
Okay.
And then and he had never seen it, so he was like, and I was like, what do you think? And he was like, it just ended really weird. It ended like I feel like there's another half of the movie. And that's exactly what he said for Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1.
Yeah.
He was like, I was like, so what did you think? He was like, I feel like I just watched half a movie. And I was like, well, you did.
Yeah, you did.
It's the same thing with like the Hobbit movies,
Yeah.
You're just watching a certain amount. And so he was kind of pissed about it.
Really?
He really liked the movie, but he was really unsatisfied with the ending. Okay. And for him, if it doesn't have an ending conclusion, he gets really annoyed.
But this was a planned trilogy, so...
Well, right. So, and I was like, well, if it makes you feel any better, I've been waiting a couple of years for the next one. You're only going to wait a couple hours.
Right.
So because we went to go see it like a couple hours later, maybe an hour after we saw the movie.
Okay.
And then he loved the second one 5 million times more than the first one.
Yeah, I do too, actually.
Yeah. I actually like it just as much. And that's just the same with like when 22 Jump Street. It was the same thing. You know, I liked it just as much, didn't like it any less, didn't like it any more. I enjoyed it just as much, and I thought the story was great. I loved the characters. I liked that. It was really hard for me when going in knowing that James Franco wasn't going to be in it because I really liked his character.
Yeah.
In the first one.
But they give him a little tribute. That's kind of nice.
Actually, they gave him quite a good tribute. People were like, "Oh, it's like a little tribute." And I'm like, actually, like he's talked about throughout most of the movie.
Yeah, he's referred to definitely.
Like beginning, middle, and end at one. Mm-hmm. You know what? So like at least 3 points that he's
at least brought up and talked about. Yeah.
And Brendan really, I think and I agree with him, is that one of the things that he really loved about it was that the window was incorporated. Again, like that was like that's like their rebellion symbol for the rebellion, and and that they even got to go back to the house. And I knew right before I saw the house when he said, he was like, "Stop."
Yep. Yeah, you're like, oh, that's where they're going.
They're going to the house, and all of a sudden it pans up to the house, and I was like, yes, I was super excited to see the house. Yeah. One thing I missed from this movie was that you didn't have the dad. I loved the dad from the first movie.
Well, I mean, you assume that he's also gone at this point, so...
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely gone. Yeah. Poor guy. It's weird to, like, think that, like, all of the characters from that first movie are gone.
Yeah, they're all dead.
Except for the apes.
Right. The apes are the only ones that have survived.
Like, even, like, James Franco's, like, girlfriend, unless she makes, like, that would be interesting if she came back.
She sort of made a quick return, yeah.
Just for, like, a second, if you just, like, all of a sudden, like, Caesar's just, like, they hug. Mm-hmm. Like in the third one, that'd actually be kind of cool. That would be really neat. That's a good theory. You're welcome. You're welcome, internet. You're welcome. Now that's gonna go viral right there. I can feel it in my I can feel it right in my face. Right in my ghibli bits.
Do you know what else I actually saw this weekend? That is similar. Well, not really, but it's also a sequel. I saw the Purge Anarchy this weekend.
You did see that. What did you think?
I liked, again, similar in the same way that like Dawn to Rise, I really thought the Purge Anarchy was really, really good. I thought it was much better than the first one. Now, this is a whole new series. I mean, just in general, this is a brand new concept, and the idea is that, for anybody who hasn't seen these films, it's a horror film series, like action horror, though, not actual horror, in my opinion. It's action horror, and it's the idea is that there was this big uprising, this big rebellion in America. And so all of the forefathers in the near future came together and they made this rule where for one day, for a 12-hour period, from 7 to 7, once a year, there will be this thing called the Purge. And during this Purge, everything is legal. There's no crimes that are illegal. You can't have anything above like a level 4 firearm, so you can't go out with like a bazooka and blow a building down. But like rape and murder and burglaries and home invasion, all that stuff is legal. So the first film was really a home invasion film. It was about this one family that locked themselves down. They were semi-wealthy, and they sold this home equipment that would lock the house down, basically. And when they locked the house down, anybody that was out purging could not get into their homes. Okay. And this was about that family, and this family let in somebody that was going to be killed by a purger, and that was the first film. So it was very kind of tight. It all takes place in that one house, which makes the whole entire thing very tight corners, close-up shots. You're only following 4 or 5 people. You don't really see the world as a whole. Whereas when you're doing this one, the Purge Anarchy is much more involved. It's about this thing takes place during the Purge, out in the world. You get to see the gangs. You get to meet the people. You meet different people that are purging. You can see why they're purging, or people that maybe got caught out in the purge by accident because their car died or something. So there's all sorts of these and you follow this one character that is out purging. He's out there to purge. He literally left with the intention of go out and kill someone. You never really find out why or how until the end, and then he finally confesses why. But I'm not going to go into that because I don't want to give anything away. But his plans. He goes out alone one night and he's going out to purge for whatever reason, and he gets caught up with these other group of like 4 people that got caught out in the purge by accident. Okay, they don't want to be there, not intending to be there, but they're being like chased down by these gangs that are out purging for the night. So he ends up taking them under his wing, and then you follow them around through the entire city, which means it's a lot more open. There's a lot more scenes that are it's fairly brutal movie, but overall I thought that the story was much better. I was much more involved in it. I was really fascinated by the characters this time around. I thought it was a lot better. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. All right. For me, going back, is it okay if we go back to Planet of the Apes?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
First of all, that story sounds really good for The Purge. I don't
think The Purge.
I don't know if I would.
Have you never seen The Purge? Either one of them?
No.
Ooh, we got a movie to watch.
I'm scared. I don't really like bloody movies. Is it bloody?
It's action bloody.
Is it? So is it kind of like? Is it okay?
Terminator.
Is it like? Okay, then I can probably deal with it.
Not Terminator, but like that kind of violence, like big guns and things.
Okay, I'll probably be okay with it then.
Yeah,
all right, so I'll have to try it out.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to Planet of the Apes. I think that the movie as a whole is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing in a lot of ways, and I think that I'm excited for the third one. I'm really excited.
I really am too. Yeah.
I think the one thing I didn't like about the second one was that character that thank God he gets killed like by I think just like an ape. I don't know. It was one of the humans.
Okay.
He was the guy that like shot.
In the first one?
Yeah. No, in the second one, he shot. He was sitting in the Jeep.
I know what you're talking about. He's sitting in the Jeep, right? Koba did it.
Koba did it. Yeah, I thought he did.
Yeah, Koba did it.
Oh, I hated that.
That's how he set up the
the
main second half of the film. So.
Yeah. I couldn't stand that guy.
Yeah, he was
the one that started the whole conflict to begin with.
He did, but I think he did it by accident. It was more fear than anything.
And he did. Well, obviously it was fear, but like I was just.
Koba's the one that really instigates the second half of the film and changes,
right, but I think it all starts.
It starts with him. Yeah, it starts there.
Yeah.
I mean, overall though, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and Rise of the Planet of the Apes are a really, really good new franchise, I think. I'm really looking forward to see what they do with the third one. Will we fast forward into another future again? Are we going to go 10 years further? Because you can't go too much further because they are apes. They only live 40 years?
Mm-hmm.
So you can't get too much further before they start dying out. So, especially since I think in the first film, I'm pretty sure Caesar is already 10 or 15 or something like that.
Yeah.
Then we fast forward another 10 years.
The one thing I find interesting is that I actually almost forgot to mention this, is that one of the characters that's barely in the movie, who is like the narration for the trailer.
Yeah.
You know who exactly
Gary
I'm
Oldman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have as much of a role as he's implied.
Yeah.
But his role is still really powerful when he
it is, but it's like he has so few scenes.
He's in it very little. And his character is actually, from what I had read reviews on it, they were like he's the villain of the piece and whatnot, but he's really he's justified, I think, in his actions.
Well, they give you such a nice scene with him getting his iPad to charge, and he starts to cry when he sees his family, and you're just like, oh.
Yeah, you really feel for his character. I mean, Gary Oldman's amazing.
Oh, he's a great actor. He's a very underrated actor, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't get enough good roles, I don't think. Right. Do you agree with me on that?
I agree.
I mean, if you think about the difference between him doing Commissioner Gordon and Sirius Black, what a difference.
Mm-hmm.
I love him as Sirius Black. I mean, I didn't even know it was him until someone had said.
Yeah, I mean, you point it out, and you're like,
it looks nothing like him, but it looks amazing.
Yeah, he's actually done that quite a bit because he played Sid Vicious a long time ago too when he was young.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the same kind of thing. Like if you see him as Sid Vicious and then you watch him as Commissioner Gordon, you're like, what is going on right now?
Yep.
So
yeah, but he's amazing. He's an amazing actor.
Yeah,
I would like to see him do
more. That was a great film. So overall, definitely recommend it.
Definitely recommend it. I think it's probably my favorite movie of the summer so far.
Well, I don't know. Turtles is out in 2 weeks, so I'm going to be biased, I think, this year.
I think you're right. But although you were very skeptical about this, but you've been warming up to it.
I'm so excited. I want to see my Turtles again.
I think he's excited because he's gonna have. Because you know what, you were given enough time to process the new looks.
Now I've processed the new look. That's exactly right. And I've seen the trailers. They've come out with a little bit more. The only person I'm really not a big fan of now, as far as the animation goes, is Shredder. I don't like the way that they've done him. He looked really badass.
He's too much Transformers.
Yeah, exactly. He's like a cyborg, dude. He's got the arms. He's already got all of these fucking shards coming down his arms. Okay, he's massive. And then on top of that, he's got this set that comes down and then breaks apart into 5 more blades. And I'm like, why? Why does he have to have that much? What are you going to do for Super Shredder at this point? Not going to happen. You know what I mean? And that really makes me upset because he's just sitting there and he looks like a cyborg. His eyes are glowing. And he goes, shing, and they all come down. And then he goes, shing, and then he goes, and you're like... And then he throws them. Did you see this in the trailer?
No.
He goes like this, and all the blades come flying out and attack stuff. And then they come somehow magnetically right back in place. So that's the only thing I'm really not a big fan of. I've grown accustomed to the turtle designs. I think they're going to be awesome. I really like Leo. I like Leo from the start. I've really warmed up to Raph. I think that he looks great because it makes more sense for him to be a little bit bigger and a little bit bulkier, because if you really think of his character, he would have been the guy that was working out the most and really like always hitting the bricks, kind of always out on his own, and I'm looking forward to it, man.
I think it's funny that we're talking about this stuff, and I'm the one wearing the Ninja Turtle shirt. Here.
I know.
There you go. I already gave you that. I mean, I told you that I got it for you.
This is for me? I like it.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'll just be wearing this from the rest of the time.
From now on.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, and I think I agree with you, and I'm very skeptical about it just because it's Michael Bay.
I know.
He's only done one good movie, and that was Transformers 1. First one,
I like the first one.
Fantastic. I think it's a very good one. I think it was really well done after that.
Yeah, the last couple of years when he's gotten like Hasbro and stuff involved, and he's got his name on the Purge too. Did you know that? I didn't know that until the very end, but it's still good. But yeah, he just action guy. Like I actually loved a lot of his old stuff. Like I really liked The Rock. I thought that was a fucking amazing film and still one of my favorites. But lately, I mean, the Transformers films, they just get bad, and it's just getting worse and worse.
Is the last one really bad? Did you see it?
It's just the biggest problem with the last one is like I like the new character. I like Mark Wahlberg, and I like his daughter, and I like his boyfriend, and all that, or her boyfriend, or whatever. And I really like that as a whole. But the actual like it starts. There's like 30 minutes of calmness in the film, and this is like a 3-hour film.
Yeah.
And then the action starts, and it literally does not stop for more than 10 seconds for the next 2.5 hours. It's just robots fighting each other and blowing shit up and blowing each other up and blowing up buildings and blowing up cities.
And that's what he's for. I mean, and if you listen to like Freddie Wong,
yeah,
he says that his idol is Michael Bay because that's what he wants
is that the explosion
because he just loves that stuff. So he's like, I know people don't like Michael Bay, but he's like my idol.
It's just too much.
I think it's too much too.
Like, he's really good with explosions. Don't get me wrong, and when the fights are awesome when he does them. But it's just,
my favorite thing is when the Transformer is going, the big long Transformer, like Snake-like, going up the building, and like the building starts to fall, and I think that's my favorite scene in any of the Transformers.
Any of the movies, okay. I think that was the third one, right? Was it the third one?
I think so.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like in the middle of the city.
Up and then it starts to crack, and then
Oh man, that's a good scene.
Mm-hmm.
That is a good scene. That one or the desert scene in the first one.
The desert scene
with
really
the army, and like in the Transformers,
like
just coming in and out of the sand.
Yeah,
looks like a scorpion, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. And I mean, they have the Dinobots in this one, which was cool, but I don't know, too much. I think too much.
Yeah, I agree with you. All right, so moving on.
Yeah.
So before we head off, we wanted to talk about what we did last night.
Yeah.
What did we do?
Last night
I
went to see the Purge, Anarchy. Went to see that. Had a picture of beer to myself, And then I got a call from you at like, I don't know, 9:30, 10 o'clock?
Yeah.
Right as the movie got out, it was like perfect timing. You're like, I don't know, what are you doing right now? I was like, I don't know, man. I just got out of the Purge or whatever. And you're like, my buddy's got a show in Lowell. You should come down. And I was like, what kind of show? You're like, drag show. I was like, I am in. So it took me a little while to convince the rest of the crew I was with to go, but yeah, it was a good show, man. It was a good little drag show, a little Disney style.
Yeah, it was
cool.
called like Mama's Twisted Disneyland.
Yeah.
Something like that. And it was my roommate from college, from my freshman year of college at Franklin Pierce University. He came out to me.
Wow.
Within I think it was like our second or third week living in college. And he came out to me because he was the first person he came out to.
Wow.
Which I thought was
awesome.
pretty crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane.
And now he's into obviously he's still Brian, which is his name, but he does have a drag name now. Annalise is the name. Annalise and Annalise had just started, I guess, last month, started doing drag shows.
Okay.
Where basically you go and you lip sync to songs and stuff like that, and they're usually parodies from original songs that you would know. And as you know, they did tons.
Disney, yeah, it was tons of Disney movies.
Tons of Disney movies, and they were all talking about how they want a vagina.
Yeah.
A lot of the songs were about how desperate these women, these transvestite women, really wanted a vagina.
Right.
It was quite funny, actually.
It was a really good show. It was fun to watch. I mean,
yeah.
I really liked the Disney when they brought out all the villains. The He Had It Coming kind of song. That was awesome. I thought that was great. So, yeah, definitely. I would go to that again in a heartbeat. I thought that was a great time.
Yeah, and we had a good time. If you can see up, you can't see that.
Yeah. No, not right now.
You can't see that.
No, but it was good.
It was good. We had a good time. We only, it was just a fun time. I got to see Brian, who I haven't seen in quite a few years, and that was really nice and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, I didn't know you hadn't seen him in a while. And then it was at the Blue Shamrock. The Chamois? I was like, really? The Chamois? You sure?
They do it. I guess they do it there every. I guess they do it there every month.
They adventure doing it again, I guess, next month, but I don't know that I can make next month. I think I have something going on. But
I don't think I'll be going, but
yeah,
only because I'll probably be busy.
I think I'd go to one of those once every 6 months or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun.
It's a decent night out, a couple of hours.
It's amazing how many single people go there.
Yeah,
I mean, not single people, but straight people.
Yeah,
actually, because I mean, you know what? Time, especially where we live right now. We live in a good place at a good time, I think, where really there's not much racism, there's not much...
I mean, I think that's more sexuality, but I think that sexuality is more open now, and
it's nice, I like that.
I mean, I'm pretty expressive myself.
I know, we talked about that last night.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I love that kind of thing, I like the idea that a person can just get out there and do what they feel,
Yeah.
And just be honest with themselves. So yeah,
it's great that we live in this kind of place where people can just be expressive and be who they want to be, and I like that because I'm glad I'm not in another place where you have to really think before you say things.
I wouldn't have survived. I'd be dead by now if I had to think before I said stuff.
Me too.
But anyways, yeah, it was a really good time. I would do it again. Obviously not. I'm not gonna do it tomorrow or something like that. But I would definitely go again, especially if there's a new theme. So we did Disney this time.
Yeah.
And do something else next time.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe the Lego movies next.
Oh man, or Wild Wild West.
Ooh.
I can imagine. Courtesans the big ass.
Oh, I'm sure they'd have all the what do you call those?
The corsage or the
it's really
corset.
squeezed. Corset. Thank you.
I was close.
Yeah, you were doing well. You were doing better than I did. I mean, you got the word out.
You got the schnizzles. So yeah, man. Otherwise, I think we're good.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching Geek Weekly. My name is Chad Morris. This is Jeremy Mullet. Don't forget to email us at chadandmfilms@gmail.com. That is chadamfilms@gmail.com, but spelled chadandmfilms@gmail.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you so much.